Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to Spintires American Wilds, and we are here on Mount Logmore making our way down this mountainside here, and we're going to actually go a little bit cross country. We're going to go off the beaten path, try and control the slide. We're going to try and shortcut our way back to the road so we can get back to the garage, configure our Ford. There we go. Fantastic stuff. And fit it with a low loader so we can go and collect our forwarder. So let's speed our way around here, and you can see again now that the sun's out and it's a bit brighter, you can see just how again visually pretty this map is. You know, it just absolutely looks stunning. Really take into the into some of these shots into view. I mean, look how pretty this is here. A little bit of white water coming off the base of that rock there. The trees, the valley, the river cutting between them. Beautiful visuals, absolutely beautiful. Right, I'm getting distracted by how pretty everything looks. We need to motor on a bit. Just trying to pull itself off the road with its tyres in the dirt there. There's the lumber mill, so we just need to go a bit around the corner. And I'm actually quite impressed. We've done all the we've done all the watch points without destroying our vehicle. We destroyed 2 last time out on Grizzly Creek. We destroyed the Blazer and we rolled the F-150. This time much more controlled. So let's switch trucks. There we go. Let's turn this thing around before we do anything else. There we go. And we want, where is it? Where's the flatbed? Oh, that's right, very top. There we go. We want the flatbed trailer. So this is something new that we haven't used before. We're going to use this to transport our forwarder from one part of the map to the other. We took a quick look at it the other day and we just lowered the ramp and then raised it and got rid of it straight away again. This time we're actually going to use it. This could be quite cool, I think. And it gives us another purpose for these trucks as well. We have this long tarmac ribbon that cuts around the map. We may as well use it. Nice little water feature just there. Again, getting distracted by the scenery. Must not take my eyes off the road. I have wiped out more than enough vehicles just by getting distracted by something pretty. Another little water feature there, that little ditch that we drove past on the side of the road there. There's lots of lovely little bits of character to the map. And I am curious as to how some of these vehicles will fare on the more traditional maps where they are just complete bog fests. You know, maps like the bog where the ground is incredibly soft and it's really easy to just get wedged and stuck in. I'm wondering just how well vehicles like the skidder and the forwarder are going to cope on maps like this. These trucks would have an absolute nightmare on those maps, I think. And Deluge as well. These would really struggle on a map like Deluge, trying to go across the water. Without four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, these things would really struggle in that water. So that in itself presents a real additional level of challenge to people who have kind of completed the game, like myself, have platinumed the game and have just got nothing left to really achieve beyond playing the new stuff, to actually go back and play some of the older maps, but with vehicles that are kind of very specialised, I suppose. This is designed to be at home on these long tarmac roads, and if you go to a map where there aren't any long tarmac roads and try and use them, then it's going to be very, very tough indeed. It's going to add a whole new level of challenge. Of course, there are a couple of maps. I think Downhill is a map that has a... Is it Downhill? There's a couple of maps that have, sort of tarmac roads. There's one that has a loop once you get across the water and get to the one of the garages. There's kind of a tarmac loop that runs all the way around the edge. I think it's Downhill. And that map would be perfect for actually using these trucks in the manner they're intended, to basically run the tarmac and move stuff around. And then you could maybe use something like the skidder or the forwarder. I'm also curious to see as well whether or not these vehicles will actually randomly generate themselves into older maps. I haven't tried that yet, but if anyone wants to try it and let me know in the comments, please do. I would be very curious to see whether or not some of these trucks would actually randomly appear in your equipment list when you start driving around and unlocking random vehicles, or if those are going to stick with just the base game things. So a lot of times you'll kind of drive around and you'll find a Kirovitz. Maybe the Kirovitz might get swapped out with a skidder. Let's put it in a lower gear just to get through this section. This is one of those trailers that has a real risk of you getting bottomed out, beached if you're not careful, because it's so long and so low to the ground. But it is pretty awesome. I wonder if some of these attachments will be usable with other, some of the other trucks that already exist in the game as well. I wonder if some of these new attachments are going to be interchangeable between old and new, or if they're only going to be with the new stuff. Again, it's not something I've really explored yet. I just haven't had the time to really knuckle down and get into some of that stuff, but we will try and figure that out at some point along the way. And again, if it's something you've already done, then please do let me know how it turned out in the comments. So there's that Western Star. We may well be using that to do our long logs. In fact, I'm almost certainly going to be using that to do the long logs. And there is our forwarder. So now the easiest way to do this would be to just stop and get rid of our trailer and then reattach it once we're facing the other way around, but we're not going to do that. We're actually going to turn around properly, get some practice for when Truck Driver comes out later this year. No licensed trucks in that, but they do look very pretty on the PC at the very least. How pretty they're going to look on console is another matter, but I'm definitely looking forward to that game. That should be a lot of fun when it comes out. I hope it's going to be good. Really, really hope it's going to be good. Let's get the ramps down. There we go. We need to switch into the forwarder, and this thing is brilliant. So we can have it just as sort of a transport vehicle like that, but we do have some attachments we can fit as well. So we can carry a fuel trailer behind us. We can also take a log trailer behind us, so if you really want to double down on the logs, take a utility trailer so you can get some repair points and garage points, and of course you can fit a loader, which is what we want to do, so that we can actually just scoop up those logs. And this has an always on diff lock and all-wheel drive, and it's pretty nice in the cab as well. Now you can't stick your head out the window like this, like you can with like the trucks, but you have got this almost 360-degree panoramic cab, which is pretty cool. I do like that. It sounds awesome as well, this thing. Oh, I've got parking brake on. It's got some serious grunt to it, this thing. So we can back this on. very straight. I should probably straighten that up a little bit. I don't know if I don't think we can secure the load on this, so there is a risk that we might possibly slide off if we're not too careful. There we go. We slipped off the back. Oh, nearly. Okay, there we go. So, back into the Ford. Let's lower the ramp. It should change that to raise the ramp, but never mind. You get the idea. So, how awesome does that look? With the loader on the back. Thing's a beast. Look at the size of it. Really imposing. Oh, I don't want to hit the guardrail. I wonder how this is going to affect our traction through the mud as well. There'll be a lot more weight to pull. Taking it really carefully because I don't want to risk that thing slipping off, and it does look a bit blurry. I think that's just because of the camera, but it might possibly also be because of my frame rate change that I put on. Yeah, it does really blur the vehicle from certain angles. It might just be the camera kind of giving you trying to keep focused on the truck at the front is blurring out the vehicle behind. Drive this in first person for a bit. We made our way through. Oh, I was going to say we made our way through. Yeah, we're stuck in the mud. Okay, let's go to a low range gear. Now we are well and truly stuck, aren't we? And the sheer weight means I can't reverse out either. Oh, maybe I can. Okay, so can I crawl forward? Looks like there's a log just in front of our front tyres that's slowing us down. Is that a log? Yeah, it's a little bit of wood, look. That's what's catching us. That's what's stopping us from being able to move. A little bit of wood. So if I can... now it doesn't want to go. Come on. We can get through here, I hope. Again, I'm trying to do this without the winch. Alright, let's go into a forward gear. Keep it low range. Doesn't want to get me through. I'm going to have to winch my way through. That little bit of wood is killing us. Right, there we go. So that should be enough. Now that we cleared that little bit of wood. There we go. Getting a little bit of purchase with those rear wheels. And we're through. Now can we just scrabble onto the concrete there? Yes. There we go. I feel like we should be able to turn on hazard lights when we're towing this thing like this. Of course we don't actually have any hazard lights to turn on, but let's get our headlights on. I'm not even going to try and take that little road down there. But when we get to the end here, I am going to sliding on that little off-camber gradient there. go. Getting a bit of speed up. See the smoke pouring out the exhaust stacks there. The engine's really revving hard. We are going to turn right here, run this way around. I don't think we've actually travelled this part of the road yet. Can't remember if we did or not. I think no, we must have done because we spotted it, didn't we? When I think we were doing. We didn't do all of the road because we went kind of off country. Sorry, cross country, off road a bit. This is where one of those watchtowers is. Somewhere there it is. Yeah, so we did this little bit of road. I don't think we did the other part. That thing just looks great. It really does. Love it. It's starting to get dark as well. So it looks like our first run with the skidder is going to be in the dark. Now somewhere around here is the access point. Oh, it's past the Chevy Bison and the Ford F-150. So we've got a little way to go yet before we get there. Let's go back into cab. Along the tarmac. Oops. Got a truck entrance just over there, which we're not going to be using. But I don't think I've seen any block points on this. Let me just check. No, there are no block points on this map. I just realised that. Okay, so this map would be great for just using trucks then, and then the forwarder, that would be great for using on Grizzly Creek. And we didn't get offered the forwarder on Grizzly Creek, and I highly doubt that we'll ever get offered it. Yeah, usually the biggest, best bits of equipment you generally don't get offered on the map. You have to manually select them. Right, where's our turn off? Oh, it's right alongside us. It's there. Oh, okay, this could be fun. Do I want to take the truck down here? That's probably asking for trouble, actually. So what we'll do is we'll park up here on the road. Bit of a squelch as we hit some mud there. There we go. If we park up here, and this is where we'll offload our forwarder. So let's get some lights on. I love this thing. Not got the best turning radius, as you would imagine. But it's very competent in the mud. See, again, a fully locked, permanently on diff lock. We do have all-wheel drive available to us. It's not using it at the moment. It's kind of clearing over here. Pretty cool. I think this is our trail here. Turn on all-wheel drive. Quite a few dead trees in here, look. Now those are terrible for trying to winch yourself out, because you end up pulling them out of the ground when you've got lots of thin dead trees like that. And there's our first scavenge point with small logs. So again, I don't know if this is designed to pack down small logs. I guess we'll find out right now. If it's not, we'll have to bring the bison over here. So let's go onto the crane. And this is basically a variant of the Ponzi Buffalo, or the Komatsu Komatsu forwarder. You know, it's that kind of piece of equipment, and I've always found, you know, this kind of crane operation like this tricky in Farming Sim, but I found it much easier in Spintires. I kind of wish that the vehicles were this easy to, you know, manipulate. He says as he struggles to actually get the claw where he wants it. That's pretty close. Just want to see if I can get all the logs. I've got 3 of them. But in terms of operation like this, in terms of the view, you know, the way the camera's positioned and how easy it is to position the logs on here, it's great. I love it. Makes this job so simple. I mean, obviously it helps having dual shocks, you know, with twin analog sticks to do this. There we go. So, will it let us pack those in? Let's find out. Oh, it will. There we go. And actually, those short logs actually end up taking up the full length like that. I reckon those look like medium logs in there, so I wonder, are we going to need medium logs? So let's see, where are we at the moment? We're here. And where do we need to be? See, the lumber mill's all the way over there in the top left corner. So I think the easiest route for us to take is to come back up here onto the main road here. And that's that truck entrance that we went past and we avoided. And then just follow the road along here, take this path through here, and then come up this way, and then we can top up the fuel tank on, you know, as well, because this thing's going to burn through fuel pretty quickly. So which way do I need to go? Which way am I facing? Okay, so the path is just there. There it is. The tree's a little bit too big to just push my way through, but the smaller ones, no problem at all. Awesome stuff. Look how soft the ground is, and this thing just straight through it, no issues whatsoever. This thing is fantastic. There we go, onto the main road. So I'm just going to mark where our turn off is, so I don't. Oh, it's just before the bridge. Okay, so I'll just keep an eye out basically for when we get towards the bridge. Let's go back in cab. I'm going to put auto cruise control on. There we go. Of course, this means I can't pan around in cab now because, you know, I have to use the right stick to move, and if I try and do that while I've got cruise control on, it changes gear. Bumpy old ride as well. You can just see me bouncing up and down in here. Oh, here's our turn off, look. There's the bridge. This is our turn off just here. Just going to come out of first person. I'll see if my driver's getting jostled and bounced around in the cab. Yes, he is. I see him changing gear there. I really do love the driver animations. They're so animated compared to, you know, what we've seen with Farming Simulator, where the guy just sits there, bolt upright, one arm on the wheel, one arm on a joystick, but never move, or both arms on a wheel if there's no joystick, you know, for him to grab onto, or if he just holds the wheel. We know we're going to get a little bit more animation in cab in FS19. We know we're going to get suspension, you know, in-cab suspension. If maybe not on all tractors, certainly on the new John Deeres. We've seen that in the Gamescom footage. Oh, we've got some rocks on the road. Have to be careful here we don't damage the vehicle. Although this thing should make pretty short work of them. a little bit of damage. And push me off course as well. And just look how this thing's just munching this bit of road here. It's brilliant. This is absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, as I say, judging by the length of the stack, it can take medium logs as well, but I don't think it'll take long logs. I think they're just going to stick out too far on the back. So, we might avoid using long logs altogether and just do short and medium with this thing. We'll see how we go, because we used the Western Star before, and we did the long log thing. There we go. Completely refilled the fuel tank. And we should have our other entrance to the lumber mill. There it is. Oh no, that's the garage, so lumber mill's around the corner. We've got 2 points of damage. We could stop. We might as well stop here. Fix the damage. Tell you what, we could just pull this thing like this with a log trailer behind it, and we could do an entire 8 points of logs with this thing, no problem at all, assuming that we could actually reach into the log cart. I mean, it might be a better idea to have the log cart side by side, load into that one and then load into this. And you can see how it's just got no problem with this terrain whatsoever. And you get off-road, yeah, obviously it eats the tarmac up, no problem at all. Let's deliver to this one first. So it's 3 points of logs, so we need another 5 points of logs to complete that first lumber mill, and then we need 8 for the second one. I've just noticed, look, there's a fire extinguisher just strapped to the side there. That's a nice little bit of attention to detail there. I mean, the vehicles do look great, don't they? They've done a really, really nice job with this DLC. Right, so where do we want to go next? Back to the same point. We've got more short logs over there. We're going to need to clear those. And we've got some more short logs that have generated there now. We're going to have to do this all with short logs. Are you going to give us any medium? And we'll see how good this is in the water as well. We'll try this out going sort of into semi-aquatic mode as well. See how well we can do crossing rivers and stuff like this. We're really going to put this vehicle through its paces in this run. So when we need to get to the other scavenge points, we'll probably just try and cross the river at a random point. Oops, I'm going to crash into a telegraph pole there. Luckily I clipped it with a tyre and not the front of the vehicle, so I just bounced and didn't do any damage. It wasn't going too fast either. I'm struggling to get it back under control. Straighten up again, there we go. Zoom out a bit. I say I'm absolutely loving this forwarder. This thing is just immense. Just careful over the rocks. Again, just you see the wheels just going over them like they're not even there. And obviously keeping the speed low so we don't do any damage at all, but you know, smaller trucks, you know, especially our little Explorers, our one-star vehicles, they really struggle with some of those rocks. Oops, a little bit of damage. And that there, you know, 1 point of damage, that would be a lot more damage on something like a Chevy Blazer or you know, a Humvee. Or even the F-150, they would take much more than just 1 point of damage from that hit. Didn't even notice that water there last time. I think we took a slightly different line through there last time and didn't see the puddle. through the water. That's another thing as well. I love the splash mechanics on this as well. The splash physics, they look fantastic. So we follow the road along here, back in through here, and then we'll have to go kind of cross-country, I think, to get into those ones there. Might have to come down to the beach. And then we'll probably take this road across here. Go across the river just there. I mean, it should be shallow enough to do it just there. We might possibly try and find somewhere a little bit deeper to really test this thing out. But my worry is that if I do, you know, bury this in the water, what am I going to use to pull this out? I think the only vehicle I've got that could stand a chance of pulling this thing out if it got stuck in the water would be the skidder. Now that thing's pretty awesome, pretty hefty in terms of its power as well and its grip. But you know, this thing is very big and very heavy. And if this thing gets its engine flooded and can't start, then trying to pull this out, that's going to be tough. Is this where we need to be? No, that's the wrong path. It's, you know, not the next one either, it's the one after that. So it's not that one, it's the next one. Here we go, truck entrance, this is where we need to be. Fallen log in the way, just go straight over it like it's not even there. This thing is just so impressive. And you could argue that, you know, using this vehicle takes the whole challenge out of it, but you know, you don't have to use it. It's certainly going to make, you know, some of those original maps where it's just caked in mud, and you have, you know, log kiosks where you can order your wood. It's going to make those really, you know, fairly straightforward. You don't have to use it, you know, if you don't want to. I'm just going to push our way through these trees. That one there is a little bit too tall. Even here with the really soft, thick mud, deep ruts that we're creating, it's absolutely fine. There is our scavenge point just over there. Just knocking these trees out of the way. Look how we're just easily dealing with this terrain. So this is a mightily impressive vehicle. And the fact that we can use it as a loader like this just makes it all the better. It really does. Excellent stuff. So, it's the crane. Look how smooth and easy it is to use these cranes. I mean, it's a nightmare trying to do this in Farming Sim, but, you know, and get a good view and stable crane operation. These things are just so fluid, so well thought out in their operational use. You know, you can just be a consummate professional using this. There we go. Log points available at new scavenge site. What have we got? Long logs. It's just long logs and short logs, isn't it? Okay, well, I'll tell you what we'll do then. We're going to need to do long logs. I think that's going to be par for the course. So what we'll do is we'll take these back and we'll drop these off in the other box just here. You know, the one with 0 and 8, so that they both have 3 points. And then we'll need to put a load of long logs into both as well. So we'll take this back here and we'll actually try and collect long logs using this, and we'll see if it can take long logs. I'm pretty confident it's going to take medium logs, but we don't have any to test. But I'm really curious as to whether it will actually take long logs or not. I don't think it will. But yeah, we might as well try it and find out. See just how awesome this thing really is. Big tree stump in the way there. Quite a few big tree stumps in the way. Are they going to like part of the fun here. Are they going to stump us? No. It's the simple answer. It just rolls through. Oh, no, tell a lie. I got stuck. It's the body's caught on one. Yeah, look, see, it's gone in between the wheels. It's got me, it's underneath the body. So me trying to drive like I'm invincible. It turns out I'm not on this thing. We're well and truly wedged on a log somewhere. Can't see exactly where it is. It's not the terrain. We're stuck on a stump. So we're going to have to winch ourselves out. It's careless. Surprised we ripped that stump out of the ground, actually. Alright, let's be a little bit more cautious making our way through here. Try and avoid those stumps if we can. Just push that tree completely out the way. Totally flattened it. Where we need to be. There's our main pathway. These little trees have got no chance. Flattened instantly. See, even with those deep mud, those deep ruts in the soft mud, it just chews through this ground so easily. I love this thing. It is making this very, very easy. But if we're going to do long logs, and like I said, I don't think this will take long logs. We'll find out, but I'm pretty sure it won't take them. Which means we are going to have to bring in, a less capable vehicle. And for that we'll use the Western Star. Yeah, that will handle that thick mud and soft ground a lot better than the Ford will. Or the Bison for that matter. Those will not like it at all. Thinking that's going to be the thumbnail. Trying to get a shot of it without. Every time I try and line up a photo opportunity, I get trees in the way. There we go. I've got something I can use. Oh, clipped the telegraph pole. 12 points of damage. Almighty 12 points. And we're kind of wedged. There we go. Signpost? What signpost? I didn't see a signpost. Oh, that's a great shot there. That wasn't bad too. Oh, this game just looks too pretty. Yeah, there's that little water splash. With that sun rising like that as well, this looks so gorgeous. Over the rocks. Yeah, just taking really short order of those rocks there. Like, almost like they're not even there. I think I'm going the wrong way. Oh no, I'm going the right way. It's the fuel station that threw me. Actually, we better. We'll refuel on the way back. We've got enough to get back to the garage and back, and we'll top up them automatically to 200 litres when we get to the when we go through the garage. Right, assuming we stop at the garage, we probably won't this time. We'll just go straight through. 13 points out of 600 of damage is not really anything we need to fix. So we need to tag the left-hand box this time. There we go. Unloaded. So, back to where we went from again. And this time we're going to try and put long logs on the back of this. I really don't think it's going to take them. But at the very least, we can leave it there. Because we can use it to just lift the logs off the scavenge point and then load them onto the Western Star, and then we can obviously drive the Western Star in there to collect those logs. Let's just cut around the corner like that. One thing I tend to find is a problem with the steering on these is that I tend to I look at the body of the vehicle as to the direction that it's travelling, and I should be looking at the front wheels. So that's why I tend to oversteer these things when I'm trying to switch directions. I don't pay attention to the front of the vehicle, I tend to look at the back. And so I turn too sharply on a corner and then I have to correct, and again I overcorrect because I'm paying attention to the wrong set of wheels. So, you know, it's a habit I need to break out of. And here's our cut through again. Getting very familiar with this little route here now. Ooh, a bit of a hit. The rest of the rocks, almost like they're not even there though, straight through them. So this is just such an impressive piece of machinery. It is pretty much the only vehicle you'll ever need once you've got your garages set up. If you're trying to get a garage set up, then obviously you're going to need something different. I mean, you could tow a garage trailer with this thing, but if you haven't got a fuel point set up or nearby, this thing's going to burn through. Oh, we've got to refuel. Oh, that could be a problem. So I don't want to have to drive all the way back just to refuel it. Let's turn all-wheel drive off and save a little bit of fuel. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll leave this on the side of the road. We'll take the Ford back and swap out the flatbed, the low loader, for a fuel tank. Or maybe actually we'll take the Bison. We'll put a fuel container on the back of the Bison so we can use the Bison a little bit. and then we'll bring that round and refuel this with a portable fuel tank. I think that's probably the way to go. So we'll get it where we need it. Not this truck entrance, but the next one. There it is, just round the corner. So we'll leave this just here. And then the Bison is literally just up there. You can see there's the F-150 and the Bison. So let's jump into the Bison. There we go. This has got damage and a reduced fuel capacity. Not enough fuel in the tank for a full tank, or even for a 200 litre tank. I'm going to take this on the back. Actually, we'll take both trucks back, just so we have them at the garage where we need them. Let's put this. On here. I was wondering if I could get the F-150 on here as well. No, I can't, but the F-150 is recordable, so pull forward a bit more. The thing tends to roll quite a long way. That'll do. Screw it. Right. Get into the Ford. We'll start the engine before I can do anything else. There we go. Lower the ramp, or raise the ramp. There we go. And we'll head back. I think slid back on the ramp there. Did you see that? As I accelerated, it actually slid back, even though the park brake's on there. So I was right. These vehicles are going to move around a little bit on the trailer. We'll get this back to the garage. We'll reconfigure the fuel tank. Get rid of the damage. This thing's sliding on that mud. Again, it's the weight of the load on the low loader. Go. Got cruise control on again. Just concentrate on steering this thing. Midday sun is shining through. It's glorious. A little bit of mud and softness in the road there, just causing our truck a few little issues, but we're getting through it. Gradient doesn't help either. See the rear wheels skidding and struggling for purchase. There we go. Back up and running again. But that sun is really creates some really stunning little vistas and lighting effects. I like that, I really do. Oh, can we get up this hill? I'm trying. You see that little burst of acceleration there? You see the Bison rolling on the back of the trailer. It's a bit concerning. So you would think there was no park brake on there at all. A little bit of mud coming up again as well. Come on, give me a bit of purchase. The front wheel's just slowly rotating. There we go, put it in a really low range. That's working much, much better. I'll leave it in that low range because we've got more mud. It's going to spin the back wheels again. We'll stay in that really low range. There we go. Back onto solid tarmac. again, it helps that this truck has a permanent diff lock. Without it, you know, it would be a bit more of a struggle getting through patches like that. And the road really kind of falls away a bit around these corners. You can see the change in elevation as we sweep around this section here. Just scraped the guardrail there, as I wanted to make a wide turn so I didn't beach the low loader. Got to be careful here as well with that ditch. So again, run out wide so I don't cut back in too sharply and lose the trailer in the ditch. Now we get some speed up again. So I'm curious, because of that blurring effect, I want to know if that's the frames per second thing. So let's quickly go into settings. Let's turn constant 30 off. Ah, yeah, it was, look. As soon as I did that, it sharpened up the truck a bit. Well, let's say that, the truck's gone blurry again, so maybe it's just its motion. Yeah, just because I was moving. Are we? Yeah, we are going the right way. I need to go round. I get thrown by that truck, by that fuel station. So maybe it's not the 30 frames per second thing then that's causing that. Maybe it's just the motion of the truck vibrating around a bit. I don't know. But we've made it back here. I wonder what happens if I make the truck bed disappear. I'm going to do that just to see what happens. Will it let me with a truck on the back of it? Yeah, just dropped it to the ground, damaged it in the process, but it'll fix it instantly because we're at the garage now. So we want to just remove that from here, and we want to move this truck out of the way. This truck has had its little run. I like this little Ford LTL. It's actually not too bad at all. The 9000 there. Had some fun with that. But it's time for us to use something a bit different. So let's get into the Bison. It's fixed. We want to get rid of the log carriage and fit the fuel system like that. No damage anymore. Tanks back up to 200 litres. That's not going to be enough. And we certainly aren't going to need. We're certainly going to need to put fuel in the system that we've just fitted. So we need to do that at the garage, which we passed on the way around the corner. Last chance for fuel, supposedly. I think I'd like the sign out. There we go. That looks good, doesn't it? So we'll fill up the cistern there. The truck's automatically filled up. There we go. And we're out of time. So I will run this truck back over towards the low loader, and we'll fill up at the start of the next episode over there. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more Spintires, Mudrunner, American Wilds here on Mount Logmore very soon.